The sun had not yet climbed when noise filled the air. Children shouted before the roosters could. "TikTok is paying dollars," they cried, racing down dusty paths. Doors opened, heads leaned out, and whispers began to rise like smoke. Dollars. For what? For dancing? The word dollars rolled from hut to hut like thunder in a dry sky. By the time the market opened, talk had replaced trade. Baskets lay half full, but tongues were busy. Dollars. For dancing? Women laughed until tears shone in their eyes. Men at the tea stand shook their heads. Another madness from the city, they said. Each retelling added spice. By noon, TikTok was no longer an app. It was a legend walking through Inside her quiet hut, old ears caught the noise. "TikTok," she muttered. "Who is this chief who pays children to jump like frogs?" Her spoon froze midair. Curiosity struck like lightning. Her feet found her slippers faster than her thoughts. A tapping stick echoed through the paths, tap, tap, tap. Children scattered before her shadow. Goats leaped aside as dust rose behind her. "Where is this TikTok hiding?" she barked. When she reached the market, laughter burst like drums. The day had found its entertainment. Her voice sliced through the noise. "Show me this tick." A group of boys pushed forward, holding a glowing box. "So this small thing gives money?" she asked, poking it with her stick. "Yes, Mama. In dollars," they said proudly. Her eyes narrowed. "Then why are you still barefoot?" The crowd exploded with laughter that shook the stalls. Men bent over, women slapped their thighs, children rolled in the dust. Someone shouted, "Maybe Grandma wants to dance too." She lifted her chin high. "If dancing brings dollars," she said, "then clear the space." The market roared with delight. The air turned hot with cheers and teasing. She threw her wrapper over one shoulder, tapped her stick twice, and began. The rhythm was half tradition, half stubborn pride. Feet stomped, hips swayed. Laughter followed every step. Phones lifted high. Screens blinked bright. "Make sure TikTok sees this," she shouted mid-dance. Drums of laughter rolled through. By evening, her dance had traveled farther than her feet ever could. Some said she had gone mad. Some swore she had found magic. Even the palace messenger carried the tale like a royal decree. The woman who once scolded gossip had become the gossip itself. She sat on her stool, catching her breath and grinning wide. "If TikTok pays for foolishness," she said, "then I shall be the richest fool alive." Her grandson laughed, unsure if she was serious. "Then you will teach me," she added, her tone sharp as a drumbeat. No one dared argue. The market had met its new queen. Night fell, but her thoughts refused to rest. The little screen glowed like a secret in her lap. "So this is where the dollars hide," she whispered. The voice of the narrator rose like wind over embers. From that night on, Macondo would never sleep the same again, for old wisdom had stepped into the world of screens. He came home holding his phone like a charm from the spirits. "Grandma, this is TikTok," he said proudly. She squinted at it. "That small mirror? Can it cook soup or pay school fees?" The boy grinned. "It can bring money," she laughed. "When a box brings money, the wind will also start selling yams." But curiosity flashed in her eyes like dawn on a pot of water. He tried to explain. "People watch your video and click like, so they like me but send no yams. They follow you," he continued. "Follow debtors." "I knew it. They follow because they owe." Laughter erupted beyond the fence. "Your fans, Grandma, fans, fan or debtor," she said, "as long as they bring dollars, I will forgive their debt." The boy covered his face while neighbors giggled behind their hands. She sat tall, cleared her throat, and faced the glowing box. "TikTok, I am ready. Send the dollars." The box stayed quiet. The box is shy." The boy laughed till he coughed. "You have to make videos." "Then I shall speak, and it shall listen," she said, tapping her stick twice. She stood beside her cooking pot, goats bleating nearby. Even goats in Macondo are lazy now. "Eat fast or be soup." Her words flew sharp and proud. The boy recorded secretly and sent it to TikTok. Before the upload even finished, laughter burst from the next compound. "Grandma's mouth has entered the magic box," someone shouted. The air was filled with joy, surprise, and the smell of mischief. By afternoon, half the market buzzed with the news. "Naku is now on the talking screen," they cried. Women dropped their baskets to watch the glowing video. "She scolds goats better than she scolds us," one said, holding her belly with laughter. "She will shame us all," another said, but her eyes stayed on the screen. The market forgot its bargains. Only Grandma's voice sold that day. The message reached the palace before sunset. The proud chief frowned. "My people now dance for magic screens." He walked to the market with his chest high. "Old women should pray, not play with city toys." A slow smile crossed her face. "Prayer builds peace. TikTok builds roofs. Which one leaks less?" The crowd gasped. The chief turned away, his pride bruised, his sandals loud on the dust. Some laughed behind her back. Mama TikTok. The dancer of screens. Others defended her. She's brave. At least she dares to try. She only waved them off. Let them talk. The dollars will silence them all. Her stick tapped with the rhythm of new dreams. Days rolled like drums. More videos came cooking. Jokes, sharp wisdom. One clip of her shouting, "If laziness paid, you'd all be kings," spread faster than harmattan fire. People from the city typed, "Who is this wise old woman?" Her heart swelled like a drumbeat. "Macondo shall never forget my name," she said with pride. The boy began to plan her work like a trader counting coins. "We need a name," he said. "Mama Wisdom." She shook her head. "No. Let them know me as the woman TikTok pays." Together they filmed jokes, riddles, lessons about truth. Laughter filled the compound every morning. Fame became their new harvest. One afternoon an old friend spoke softly. "Fame is like palm wine. Sweet at first, but it can make you fall." The proud one waved her off. "I have chewed bitter roots all my life. Let me taste sweetness for once." The air grew still for a heartbeat. The narrator's voice rose like wind over grass. "Sweetness, once tasted, seldom ends in peace." From his veranda, the chief watched his people laughing at glowing screens. His frown deepened each day. "The old woman steals my respect," he murmured. Jealousy sat beside him like a shadow he could not chase away. The drums of envy began to beat softly in Her name traveled beyond the hills. Visitors came from other towns just to meet her. "Say something wise for Tick," they begged. "Wisdom is free," she said, "but fame has a price." Her words spread like a whisper of prophecy. Laughter and pride danced together. Not knowing trouble had started to drum. Soon. Strange messages arrived on the boy's phone. "We can help her earn real dollars," they promised. Her eyes brightened. "So TikTok sends even more." The boy nodded slowly, unsure. The narrator's tone grew low and warning. She had danced with fame and spoken with pride, but now greed had come to dance with her. The morning began with buzzing sounds, not roosters. Messages spilled from the boy's phone like water from a broken calabash. "Grandma, people from other countries are writing to you?" He laughed. "Let them come," she said, eyes glinting. "Maybe one carries my dollars in his pocket." Whispers spread across Fame had made her untouchable, like a chief's wife walking past the market. Each message shimmered with promises. "TikTok pays faster with our help." One sang, "We are official TikTok workers." Another glimmered. The boy frowned. "These are scammers, Grandma." She waved a hand. "Scammers. Do they think I was born yesterday? I was born before deceit learned to walk." The words were like a drumbeat. Loud and clear, yet the spark of curiosity shone in her eyes. A well-dressed young man arrived, stepping lightly like a cat. "Madam, your account is special," he said, showing a shiny ID. "Special? I knew it," she beamed. "Even the internet respects age." His smile was smooth, hiding sharp claws beneath. Every word flowed like honey, every gesture a trap disguised as respect. "Queen of TikTok, Mama Dollar," he declared. The children repeated it, chanting in the streets. "Mama Dollar, show us the dance." She laughed, pride swelling her chest. Her guard slipped, replaced by trust. He smiled like a bird circling a sleeping cat. Patience and greed intertwined. He showed screenshots filled with shining numbers. "You have earned $500 already," he said. She gasped. "My goats never brought me that in a year." "But you must register your bank to receive it," he added softly. The boy frowned. "Grandma, this feels wrong," she snapped. Silence. When adults talk, children listen. Even wisdom paused when greed spoke in golden tones. He leaned closer. "Just give me your bank pin. I'll handle everything." She hesitated, then remembered his title, TikTok officer. "This is the new world," she muttered, handing over the paper. The storyteller whispered, "When greed sings to sweet, wisdom sleeps." Even the wind seemed to still. Listening, 2 days passed. The bank card refused her. "Empty," she shouted to the boy. "Empty," he cried. "Grandma, you've been robbed." Her proud smile faded like the sun behind clouds. Stone weighed on her heart. She had danced with trust and lost. News traveled faster than a horse. "Mama Dollar has danced her money away," the market cried. Women whispered, men chuckled, children mimicked her fall. Once a star, now a living joke. The narrator intoned, "Fame brings laughter, but shame brings silence." She sat quietly for the first time in weeks. The boy came close. "Grandma, I warned you." "You did," she said softly, but this old heart wanted to believe. Her eyes sharpened again. Fire returned. "No man steals from me and sleeps in peace," she muttered. She stormed toward the chief's compound. "Chief your words mocked my TikTok. Now help me find the thief." He folded his arms. "You danced for dollars. Now dance for cents," the crowd murmured, tension thick as river mud. Her voice rose like a drum. Fine. If the law sleeps, I will wake it myself. That evening, a friend arrived with roasted corn. My sister, Pain, makes strong hearts reckless, she said softly. Then let my recklessness find my thief, came the reply, firm and bright. Remember, Mama BC said, the same tongue that mocked you will sing your victory. The stage of revenge began to form, shadows dancing in candlelight late into the night. She and the boy sat plotting. If TikTok brought your trouble, maybe TikTok can bring your justice, he said. Her eyes reflected the firelight, burning with cunning. Yes, she whispered. The same TikTok that brought my shame shall carry my revenge. She beat her cooking pot with a wooden spoon, echoing through the sleeping village. Tomorrow, Macondo will see the rise of Mama Dollar again, but this time, not for dance. For war. Her voice rolled through the alleys and huts like thunder over hills. The narrator closed softly when a grandmother swears under moonlight. Even spirits listen. This script maintains third-person African folktale, narration, fast-paced, dialogue-driven structure, humor, pride, and dramatic tension, symbolism and cultural resonance, clear flow leading into her next act of revenge. The fire crackled, sparks dancing into the night. She stared into the flames, old eyes glinting with mischief. If TikTok shamed me, she said, voice low, TikTok will save me. The boy scrolled through his phone, grin wide. Grandma, are you thinking of revenge or a movie? Both, she replied, her lips curling, but this one will make the thief cry before the credits roll. The night held its breath, knowing something clever was brewing. Together they tapped and typed, creating a new account. She chose her name slowly, proudly. Let wisdom wear widow's clothes, she declared. The boy laughed. Grandma, even your fake names sound dangerous. Short, witty videos began to appear, each story hiding a secret bite. Every clip hummed with cleverness, daring anyone greedy enough to watch closely in the first video. She played a greedy goat stealing yams from the village store. When the goat grows fat, the rope grows tighter, she warned. Villagers laughed and clapped. Is she talking about Deo? One whispered, eyes wide. Comments poured in, buzzing like summer bees. The wise widow is fire. Teach that goat, mama. Her words struck, subtle but sharp, lessons wrapped in laughter. Each new video hit harder than the last. Children ran in the streets, repeating her lines. Traders paused mid-sale to watch, mouths open in delight. Even the chief shared a clip, shaking his head. Some goats should hide their faces. The laughter traveled fast. Stretching from Macondo to the neighboring town, far away, a young man clenched his phone, face red. This old woman mocks me, he shouted. A friend laughed. She turned you into a folktale. Rage rose like a river breaking its banks, pride blinding him. He hammered out a message. Stop your nonsense or I'll deal with you myself. She read the words, lips curving in a sly smile. He took my money. Now I'll take his pride, she whispered. She replied sweetly, come, my son. Let us forgive each other in front of the people. Let peace return. The boy gasped. Grandma, you're inviting him? Yes, she said, steady as a drumbeat. But I'm not serving peace. I'm serving justice. News spread quickly. Mama Dollar and the thief will meet. The market emptied early. Everyone gathered, anticipation buzzing like bees. Drummers arrived, sticks pounding, rhythm building. Phones were raised, ready to capture every moment. This will be better than a wedding, a man joked. She dressed in red and gold, bold as her heart. Her eyes fierce and steady. He arrived, shiny shoes tapping, fake confidence in every step. So, Mama Dollar, ready to say sorry? He mocked. Sorry, she echoed, voice calm and sharp. Yes, I am sorry for you. The crowd held its breath. The drummers went silent. The boy crouched in the back, phone ready, eyes on the officers hidden in the crowd. She spoke to the camera, voice strong, let all who have ears hear. The one who steals from an old woman steals his own peace. Cheers erupted from the crowd. Enough of your games, old woman, he stammered, panic rising. Before he could flee, officers stepped out, their hands firm. Mr. Deo, one said, you're under arrest. The villagers erupted into songs and shouts, drums pounding, joy spilling into every street. The boy's live stream captured it all. Shock, courage, and truth. Smile for your fans, she commanded, steady and proud. Within days, the video spread like fire across the region. 1 million views in 2 days? Comments shouted, Grandma for president. Macondo justice is the best. Her cleverness had made the village and the world cheer. The villagers danced and chanted, voices rising like wind through the hills. Grandma Naku for president. Even the chief bowed slightly, pride softening his face. She raised her hand, tall and unwavering. My people, I did not fight for money. I fought for truth. The crowd roared. The boy whispered, Grandma, the internet loves you again. she grinned, eyes sparkling with mischief. Good. Now it will listen to my last story. This script captures fast-paced, dialogue-driven action clever, culturally resonant storytelling tension, humor, and justice unfolding seamless flow from plan to triumph. Drums echoed across the village at dawn, rolling like laughter through the dusty streets. Every mouth spoke her name. She caught a thief and became a star, shouted a trader, tossing his baskets aside. TV vans arrived, cameras flashing like lightning over rooftops. Children ran barefoot, weaving between legs and goats, shouting, "Our grandma is on TikTok and TV." Even the elders paused, squinting at the commotion, murmuring, "Old wisdom still has power." A young journalist held a small notebook, eyes wide. "Mama, how did you do it?" came the question, voice full of awe. She grinned, lips curling like the edge of a calabash. "With common sense and peppered words," she said. The crowd burst into laughter, echoing through the market like rolling drums. "The world runs fast," she added, voice sharp. "But wisdom still walks ahead." Her words spread faster than her videos, whispered from stall to stall, sung in children's chants. Carried on the wind, Mama BC peeked from behind a basket, cough masking nervousness. "So, Mama Dollar, will you teach me she asked, voice trembling. Naku laughed, sharp and full. "Only if you promise not to dance like a broken broom." Even Chief Okoro cleared his throat, pride bending slightly. "Maybe the old woman's wisdom still beats my pride," he admitted. The market erupted in laughter, gossip silenced by respect, joy spilling into every corner. She stood beneath the mango tree, phone in hand like a scepter of knowledge. "My people," she began, voice carrying, "the world inside this small box can steal or heal. Choose wisely." Short videos appeared, each one a story, each story a lesson. Villagers gathered each evening, phones raised, learning together, sharing laughter and understanding. Even the youngest children learned that the dance of life required more than feet. It demanded sense. The boy printed bright yellow shirts. Letters bold. "Stay smart. Stay honest." "Grandma, you're trending again," he said, pride bright in his eyes. "Good," she replied, voice steady. "Let my followers follow sense this time." The two laughed, the sound like drums beating in harmony, their bond stronger than ever. Rooted in trust and shared triumph, drums began to play again, softer this time, sweet with celebration. "Dance, Mama Dollar?" called the crowd. She tied her wrapper tight, stepped into the circle, and moved with the rhythm of life itself. Her feet told stories. Her laughter filled the air, weaving joy into every heartbeat. "Now I dance for peace," she declared, "not for pay." The village joined, clapping, stomping, singing redemption written in every motion as the sun began to dip. Golden light catching the edges of rooftops, she recorded one final video. "To all who watch," she said, voice calm and commanding, "remember, fame fades, but wisdom feeds." Villagers nodded in understanding. Even the chief clapped slowly, humbling pride beneath the power of truth. The screen glowed with her smiling face, a symbol of courage and cleverness. A story passed from one heart to the next. Night settled over Macondo.com, and serene. The narrator's voice whispered, soft and rhythmic. Macondo slept that night in peace, believing the storm was over. A small light blinked on her phone. One message, brief and daring. "Hello, Mama Dollar." Drums thumped once in the distance. Steady warning. TikTok was not done with Grandma Naku yet. And somewhere, a smile curved, knowing the next story was just beginning. This script captures fast-paced, dialogue-driven narrative humor, wisdom, and redemption woven naturally into African folktale-style cultural richness with village interactions, drumming, and community dynamics tension, closure and anticipation for the next adventure. Evening birds called across Macondo, their songs carrying through the empty streets as the crowd slowly dispersed. A small child tugged at a wrapper, eyes wide. "Grandma, will TikTok pay again?" A soft, warm laugh answered like a gentle drum in the twilight. "Only if TikTok learns manners." Her voice floated over the quiet village, calm, wise, full of the warmth that had guided them through laughter and shame. The storyteller's voice rose, steady and rhythmic like a drumbeat at dusk in Macondo. "They say wisdom has no wrinkles." Villagers turned toward the firelight, eyes reflecting flames, absorbing each word. "It sits in hearts that see truth before lies arrive," he continued. Voice rolling through the hushed. A trader murmured under his breath. "When greed leads, shame follows close behind." Heads nodded in silent agreement, remembering the fall and rise of their grandmother. "Even a coin," added the blacksmith, voice deep as iron, "can burn if it's stolen." Laughter rippled through the villagers, mingling with respect, a rhythm of understanding and humility. She stood tall, staff tapping the ground with authority, a heartbeat against the fading light. You all laughed when I danced for dollars, she began, voice firm, eyes steady. But see now, it was not the dance that taught me. It was the fall. Never chase what shines too easily. It blinds before it feeds. Each word landed like a stone thrown into still water, rippling across every listener. Children repeated her words, voices rising in playful rhythm. Never trust easy money. Never trust easy money. Mothers joined, clapping hands softly, echoing the chant. The village turned her warning into song, part laughter, part lesson. Weaving wisdom into memory, the storyteller spoke once more. Voice low and certain, true wisdom is not about age or technology. It is the power to see truth wearing a mask. And justice, he added, voice rising like distant drums, walks slowly. But she never loses her way. Flames crackled, sparks rising like tiny stars into the night. She sat quietly, face glowing in the soft light, hands resting on her staff. If you keep your heart honest, she whispered, voice gentle but firm, the world will follow your rhythm. From the distance, drums began again, soft, steady, proud. A heartbeat of Macondo itself, the storyteller's voice drifted with the wind, carrying across the sleeping village. And so, they still tell the tale of Grandma Naku, the woman who danced with courage and taught wisdom to the world. A pause. Silence holding the memory, then the storyteller laughed, low and warm. May your own hearts dance faster than fear.